lie. I be rolling with you, mommy, I be feeling the motion. When I'm inside you, I be deep as the ocean. When it comes to your love, can't lie, it be strong as a potion. That's why me and you forever be coasting. Let's roll. Co-pilot on the passenger side, be so fly. Yeah, she so lit, we so high. Just me and my chick, yeah. Just me and my chick, yeah. Co-pilot.
Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome to another one, man, and we back. It's your boy Rob One, man, and this is Sparking Conversation, where I know each and every week, man, we get up here and we talk to some of the world's most interesting people, right? And today we're gonna do the same thing, all right? Today's show is gonna be very interesting, right? And what I mean by that is that, you know, we always aspire to try to have some type of change in our lives, you know. At least I like to think that we all do. And I don't know, sometimes people feel like there's not hope or things never going to change. Things are always going to stay the same, you know. It's just depending on how you look at life and you look at things. But, you know, then there's those people who do just the opposite of what people say and what people think. And they step out there on the limb. Even for the people who don't really understand that sometimes, you know, even when you don't believe in you, there's somebody else that's going to believe in you. And I mean, that's one of the hardest things to grasp, right? Because so many of us, we get caught up in our own feelings, right? About how we feel about things and how we think that we are. And we want everybody to understand us. But there comes a point in time where, you know, the best way for people to understand you is by understanding other people. And sometimes you understand that a person may not have the same thing that you have when it comes to like vision and seeing things. But, you know, tonight's guest is going to prove the opposite, right? Because we always hear about people saying that we need someone like us to be out here representing for us. But then we realize, too, everybody that look like us ain't for us, right? We know that. So then they got to get past that part, right? And then we got to get into, all right, so what are your plans? And today we got a guest that's coming on that's running for the mayor of Raleigh, North Carolina, which is the capital of North Carolina, which means that, you know, a lot of things that's going to be going on, you know, that will affect the rest of the state. And I always wanted people to kind of really figure this out, right? Like, you could live in a city, right? And you can look at things and you can see where change is needed. You can see where, you know, maybe you personally can add value to a certain thing. But whenever you approach the city or whenever you approach these people, you don't get these opportunities. They don't allow you to get these opportunities. It's always so many hurdles and obstacles you got to jump over. You got to damn near donate a kidney and give an eye and almost, you know what I'm saying, do the moonwalk for 30 minutes straight without stopping. You know what I mean? With your socks on. And you know, they do all of these things. They put it in front of you just to make it so you cannot. But then they allow someone else to come in with other intentions just because they, you know, they pretty much can identify with each other, if you know what I mean. And then there it goes. So then there's the opportunity. So we're going to figure this out, right? All right. But before we get into that, before we bring Meek up and before we bring our guest up, I wanted to make sure that I give thanks like I do each and every show to all the people that download the audio version of this podcast, man. You got it out there everywhere. And I definitely appreciate y'all, man, for real. And outside of that, I definitely appreciate when y'all click on the links as well, too. Because there's a lot of people out here who are struggling financially, and I just want to let you know that there is a change coming, and you can. Now is the time. You got a nice little 10-year window, right, where you could change your life. And I mean, like, you could take the smallest things that you would consider not necessary when it comes to your spending, put it in certain places, and at least in 10 years, it could change your life. But it's going to be up to you whether you believe it or not, but it's always a thing called research. And I just advise everybody to do their research. But thank you to the partners at Webull, because they are allowing anyone that signs up to open a brokerage account to receive free stocks, and it's up to $1,500. Some of them are different, and then sometimes it goes more. But you can put in a penny in your brokerage account, and then boom, you still is going to get the free stocks, and who don't like free money. And then you can watch and learn from there, study the stocks that they give you, understand it from that point, and then boom, look at your life and see how you spend it and put your money towards that. Now listen, this ain't financial advice, it's just me saying like what we have these platforms for, right? We got to give this information out. One thing that I had a conversation with some brothers over the weekend. Father's Day weekend had just passed, right? So I had some conversations with some people, and one of the things that they were talking about is that when, you know, in our community, whenever we get whatever we consider the plug is, we like to hide the plug, right? We don't want to give the other person the information because we feel like they might do better than us, or we want them to come to us so we could charge them, or whatever it is, versus saying, "Hey, nah, here, go get it for yourself." You know, we don't do that. And I mean, that's a broad statement because there are people who will, you know what I'm saying, pass the buck, but then there are people who are considered gatekeepers, right? They won't give the information out. They'll keep it to themselves, and and then it's a slow walk to their success because you can't do this stuff all alone. So we definitely gonna find out today from, the candidate that's running for mayor Raleigh about his team and about his squad and about the vision that they have to help bring some change. Because we gotta figure out a way that we could bridge the gap and we can all work together. Because we gotta get past seeing people for, who they are on the outside. We gotta get down on the inside sometimes and just really dig it out, right? Because at the end of the day, we all are paying attention to what's going on out here. I hope everybody is paying attention out here. You know what I mean? They just implemented the draft again, right? So all you young men out there, 18 to 26, listen, let me tell you something. 36, sorry, 36. Let me just tell y'all something real quick. A lot of things are going to change out here for y'all, bro. I'm just going to be honest with y'all, man. All of y'all guys that are running the streets, all of you guys that are just out here in a lot of this gang situation and stuff that's coming. Listen, let me tell y'all something, man. They're going to come pick y'all up. And it's an automatic felony if you fail to register between those ages. Now, think about that, Like, now, it don't even matter. And then in some states, they're trying to bring back the stop and frisk. Now, just imagine if you ain't doing nothing wrong, they just bring that back, and then all of a sudden they just check you and they find out you didn't register for the draft, and then they can just lock you up right then and there. Like, that's what happened when we don't pay attention to policies. That's what happens when we say things like, "Yo, man, politics is not my thing." All right. Well, the reason why we having to deal with that right now because everybody was paying attention to Diddy while behind the scenes they were drafting this joint up. And as you see, Diddy still ain't go to jail. You know what I'm saying? I'm not speaking nothing on him. I ain't wishing it, whatever. I'm just saying, based on everything that was shown, he still ain't go to jail. So if that wasn't a distraction of your own, I don't know what else is, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, this is what they was doing in the background, right? Saudi Arabia, I know y'all paid attention to that. Saudi Arabia, they did not renew their contract to, trade their oil and on a dollar standard, on the U.S. dollar standard. They're not doing that no more. They just applied, to join BRICS nation, right? You know what I mean? These guys are going to go under the Chinese dollar or the yen or whatever, and that's going to be backed by gold. So that's what they're looking like they're going to start trading. And then over here, it's so weird because we got more oil than all of them right here. It could be drilling right here. We don't even need them over there. Yeah, so it's crazy, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just so much going on out here that I think that for the life of us, we don't pay attention to. But hey, you know what I mean? You guys pay attention to me. I'm gonna get y'all this information. So without further ado, I'm gonna bring up Meek real quick. We're gonna see what's going on with her before we get into our guest. And just remember, for all of y'all that's watching right now, the comments will be wide open, right? We want y'all to get in, to engage in the conversation because, hey, it may be some things that we missed to ask the brother. And we want to make sure that we ask the right questions. So when these clips go out, he can use this to get it out there to the people because we know how the power of social media is. They may have questions and here's his answer right here. He ain't got to repeat himself 1,000 times, right? So that's why tonight is important. So let me see what's going on out here real quick. Yo, what's going on?
What's up?
Ain't nothing. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, there's some light in there today. Yeah, yeah,
Bright.
yeah. It's some light. I feel pretty bright too myself. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
you
this
look.
thing, man.
You don't look as dark skinned today.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I might could
That
pass for
light
a
skin
couple of
filter.
things. I think I could pass for Dominican today. I might need to try it. You know what I'm saying? I got a bunch of Spanish down pat, but but my accent will allow me to really say it, so I don't even
Oh,
embarrass myself.
yeah, I probably
I
shouldn't do that.
but when they be speaking certain things, and then I might laugh the same time they do, then they look at me. Yeah, man, I heard you. I heard you. But look, today, check this out. We got Eugene. All right, so we got Eugene Myrick, right? He's running for mayor of Raleigh, North Carolina. Now, remember, we met DELMONTE before. He's supposed to jump on tonight, but if
Okay.
not, it's cool. But we went when he was running,
Mm-hmm.
right? We asked a few questions, and then he hit me. He was like, "Yo, at this particular point in time, I'm gonna have to, gracefully bow out, but I'm endorsing this young man." And I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, bet." So, then he started telling me a little bit about him and why he felt like he wanted to stand behind him and try to help him get to the finish line, based on all of the other campaigns that he's been a part of before, right? So I was like, all right, bet, yo, can you figure out if we can get in a conversation with him, right? Because what I know that we talked about this before. In a lot of these situations, we don't know. People be wanting people to vote for them, and nobody don't know. We don't know none of them, y'all. they be on the ballot and they be like, wait, hold on, this person running for the Parks and Recreation. Who is this person? Like,
No idea.
wait, no idea. And then when you ride by and you see the signs outside, right, and they in the middle of the street or whatever, and then you go Google these people or whatever, all right, and it just pulls up where they used to work. It's like, hold on, what's your campaign, bro? I don't want to see your
What,
LinkedIn.
what do you stand for, my guy? Who
Right.
are
I
you?
can't see none of that, right? But then they're up there, right? But then I guess they have their meetings, their dinners, or whatever they do. I don't know how they do it. You know what I mean? But, I want to learn because at the end of the day, I think, from the inside out sometimes, right? We got to change things from the inside out. There's some
True.
people who breath stink because their stomach ain't. They
I guess so.
they, they don't get something out their stomach. You know what I mean? It ain't got nothing to do with how many times they brush their teeth. It's just that it's their stomach is trashed out.
Yeah, some acid in there. Get that
Got
shit
to
out.
detox.
I can help you with
So
that.
yeah. So right now, that's what we trying to do. So Raleigh, North Carolina, as we know, it's a lot going. Look, it's a lot that has happened. And they made just as much national news as any other city. And not only that, they have also been a part of so many different things that's historic. Like, come on, the lady that accused Emmett Till for whatever he did not do to her that caused him what he did live right here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's just a lot of things that go on here that I guess a lot of people don't understand. But I think
Yeah.
it's some questions that we need answered. And I think all of the candidates that's running need to be answering certain questions. And Eugene is brave enough to come up on the platform and be like, "Yo, I got it." You know what I mean? And which is good for us because we want to give everybody the opportunity to say whatever you going to say. You know what I mean? But we know that depending on how you answer is how you gonna get that vote.
True.
So,
You gotta earn it.
right? So we
Got
wanna we wanna make sure that if people get the opportunity, so we're gonna get a brother the floor. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna give it that. So I'm gonna introduce him. Well, we're gonna bring him on. We're gonna let him introduce himself, and you know how we do. So let's see what's going on in here. There you go. What's going on?
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah,
Like I
man.
said, I'm traveling, but listen, if somebody give me an invitation, I'm gonna make sure I'm there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, that's fine, man. Yeah. Because like I said, we know just as much as you got a lot going on in your real life too, and then running for an office like that, a political office like that, is such an important one. We know that there's certain things that you're gonna make sure that happen, right? So yeah.
Bro, you
So
let me. I was in the waiting room, and you dropped like 10 jewels. So I'm gonna talk politics tonight, but you're gonna have to invite me back so we could talk about some of that other stuff you was just dropping. So we can
what?
talk politics tonight, but I'm gonna come back and talk about some of that other stuff you was talking about.
Okay, bet. Yeah, we can always do that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because yo, listen, to be honest with you, that's what the platform is for. We like to,
Yeah,
talk about as many different topics as possible. But I also like to make sure that I give the platform to, impacted families too, because it's a lot of families that's been impacted by the relationship between civilian and police, and it's not
oh yeah,
really good, bro. I'm gonna be
oh yeah,
honest with you, and they
oh yeah,
don't make the national news. And I talk to a lot of them, and it's way more.
yeah.
I was just talking to one before we came on, and he was just saying like this morning his wife had a stroke. Now they fighting for justice for their child, and then this happened. So they all are in this space where they fighting and they stressing and
That's
they
similar
feeling.
like Eric Garner in New York. You know what I'm saying? His daughter was fighting for him, and she ended up passing.
See what
So
I'm
that
saying?
happens. That stress happens. And that police conversation is definitely one that happened. Like I had to tell somebody before because it's like they try to antagonize black folks when we say Black Lives Matter, and then somebody will say, "Oh, Blue Lives Matter." So the first thing I say is Smurfs are not real. So let's start with that. And then I say, if you're talking about law enforcement, their lives do matter. You know what I'm saying? I actually, I used to teach, but I have a bunch of law enforcement in my family. My brother and my sister-in-law retired New York City law enforcement. I'm talking
Right,
about, I'm talking about NYPD and Department of Corrections. My nephew right now is just joined the force in the Charlotte area. You know what I'm saying? So, and then the postal police, bunch of police. So we have different conversations in our household when it comes to the police. You know what I'm saying?
right,
But at the same time, we need those folks on the inside. You know what I'm saying? That can help us through these type of situations. Like I have a friend, really good a childhood friend that was a detective, and they gave us these DEA cards. Well, this was in New York. They gave us a PBA, Police Benevolent Association card. It's not a get out of jail free card, but you get pulled over, you have that license, you have that PBA card, you give them that PBA card. This at least let them know you know somebody on the job. So maybe they won't treat you the way they might want to treat you. You know what I'm saying?
that's a
So this
jewel.
is why this is why it helps to have people, and then if you got a police that pull you over and you got the DEA card, the Detective Endowment Association, then they're gonna really take a step back, like, oh, this guy know a DT. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm telling folks now in Raleigh, it's a delicate situation, whereas you need law enforcement because God forbid you get robbed, somebody got to call the police to handle that type of situation. But at the same time, there's these other organizations like Heart, Acorn that folks got a little bit of problem with. Whereas you could bring in folks to de-escalate the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So, like I said, I have law enforcement in my family, but I also, prime example, I have an uncle. He was mentally ill, um, and we had to make sure the police in the area know that he was mentally ill because they see him, they might want to hit him with the stun gun, or they might want to, you know what I'm saying? So we once we let them know that this man is mentally ill, so then a rookie cop comes into the neighborhood, and my uncle, he's mentally ill, but he's drinking a beer outside. In New York, you get a fine for drinking a beer outside,
right.
and the officers on them, telling them to pour it out and so on. So, and this came back to me from the officer that somebody else, they saw him, like the officer was on, he was on my uncle, and then the other guy who already knew he was mentally ill and was like, "What you doing? That's Mr. Lawrence. Leave him alone." And he made him pour his beer out. Then he made the guy give him $1 so he could go get another beer. You know what I'm
Ah,
saying? Those are the
right,
type of conversations. Those are the type of relationships you have to have because he's innocent. He's not going to bother anybody. You know what
right.
I'm saying? But he's going to go to the store. He's going to get a beer. He's going to drink his beer. But if you don't know him, then you might treat him a certain kind of way. You know what I'm
True.
saying? So these are the relationships. So this is why I say, we have to have law enforcement is such a touchy topic, but we could say we hate the police, but at the same time, if we don't have police on the inside, then we won't get that help that we really need. So it kind of goes both ways, but that's a touchy subject. But I just jumped in on that. But you know, go ahead.
Well, no, I mean because first we want you to tell people your name too, because
I ain't even say that part yet, right?
you
I
didn't
just
even
jumped right in,
introduce
right?
yourself.
I
Yeah.
ain't even
But
jumped
we
in yet.
know, but it's real though, because like I
Yeah,
said, you know, we that's one of the topics that you know, or a question that we want to ask, because hey man, you know, we got to have a better relationship between the police and civilian lives, because
yeah,
you know, it's not cool, and at some point we got to try to help people get out of this fear thing, you know, the police being in fear of their lives based on the way a person looks. And you know, and I'm gonna be honest with you, even if some of the stories that I told, well, a lot of them is not around here, you know, they're in other places and they're dealing
right,
with it in other places, right?
right.
But these are people who travel, right?
Mm,
They used to work in these places that did
right,
that, then went to these other places. And
right.
just like the Rankin County Goon Squad, like remember that whole squad was in Georgia before.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Rankin going crazy, and then went down to Mississippi and did the same thing, and then did it to the wrong two people. And, well, finally, and then
Right,
boom, and what happened to them? But you got to
right.
think about it. These guys travel from different,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like a fraternity. But anyway,
A bad
look,
seed is a bad
introduce
seed. A bad seed is a bad seed, no matter, you know.
where's
And,
that?
and power. You know what I'm saying? It was like they used to that power. Okay, they took my power from me here. I'm gonna go get this power somewhere else. You know, and that's politics. Politics is power.
That's a
You know,
fact.
politics is power. And well, let me start. Let me reverse it. Okay, let me start from the beginning. So I'm Eugene Myrick. I came to Raleigh in 1990 as a student at Shaw University. Graduated from Shaw in '94. Went back to New York, taught special education for some years. That was rough, and teachers still have it rough. Teachers special education. Got into radio, started working in radio, produced a radio show. I was in New York, LA, Chicago. Radio is kind of like sports. You go where you get the best contract. So I was able to travel, and but I always came back to Raleigh. I always wanted to make Raleigh home. And like I said, I done seen Skid Row in LA years ago, seen these things happening in Chicago. So now I'm back in Raleigh, and I never thought from 1990 to now that I'll see homeless encampments on the side of the road. You know what I'm saying? These buildings going up, but people don't have any place to live. So it's just out of control. And I've been going to city council for years now, just speaking to these people, and I feel like, yeah, y'all gonna sit here and listen to me, but y'all not comprehending anything I say, and y'all basically taking my vote for granted. So now I'm just to the point where I'm like, okay, I can show you better than I can tell you.
Fact.
So that's where I'm at. And I try to support some of these candidates from city council, you know, somebody else that's in the race, and I was like, you're not for us. And one of the things you said, like I was actually in city council in a hearing. You get those 3 minutes that they reduce the time because they really don't want to hear what we have to say, and I
Right.
had to let them know that all skin folk ain't kinfolk. You said that in your opening. I literally had to tell somebody that, like, you know, y'all gotta understand. Don't put all black people in the same bucket. All skin folk ain't kinfolk.
Fact.
So we have some of these black people. They want to be the only black face in the high place. Never mind the rest of us. As long as they there, the rest of us can, you know, we can fend for ourselves. So
Fact.
that's not how I'm built. That's not how I'm built.
Well, that's dope, because you know, as for leadership, we need people who don't mind bringing people along with them, right, and not have to worry about, you know, being the only one. Because being up front is not all it's cracked up to be, and I think some people
No,
get it twisted with maybe the energy that comes off of people who are up front. They might make it come off like it's easy or that's their thing, but in reality, they really like to be chilling and not be in that space
yeah,
where everybody checking them out. You know what I mean? But they have to. It's
right.
like a switch you have to turn on. Well, what we want to know, before we get into some questions, right? We want to get into some questions because we already got a question in the chat already, but I'm gonna bring it up in a minute because we want a little bit know a little bit more about you before we get into asking some questions, right? So, what I want to do is, outside of you going to the city council meetings, what inspired you to get into politics, though?
Well, it's like I'm just one of those people where I call it people call see they leave bullying to kids. I think it's the adults that get bullied. You know what I'm saying? And black people in Raleigh, we've always been told where we could live. You've been told you could live in this land. I live right now. I live in Biltmore Hills. Biltmore Hills is a neighborhood where black people were told they could live. You know, all
Right.
of the streets are named after black people. Like I live on Fitzgerald Drive, and we're going to the the historic commission and all this other stuff because I want the signs changed. I don't want to live on Fitzgerald Drive. I want to live on Ella Fitzgerald Drive. You know what I'm saying? If that's who the street is named after, that's what it needs to be named after. And so right now, what's happening in Raleigh is, first we were told where we could live, and now that the land is valuable, now we're being kicked out of where we were told we could live. You know what I'm saying? It was Shaw University's campus is being rezoned. I was in opposition to that because it's nothing but a land grab. But once again, we dealing with black faces in high places.
Right.
And all of New Bern Avenue, I don't know if folks don't know, all of New Bern Avenue, 700 acres is being rezoned. So where are those black folks going to go? Tarboro Road, Raleigh Boulevard, Heritage Park. They saying, oh yeah, we want to move y'all out and we'll bring y'all back. That's not going to happen. I've seen this movie before in LA. I've seen it in Chicago. I've seen it in New York, and it's happening right now in Raleigh in real time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I feel the people are being bullied. And my neighborhood, Biltmore Hills, is mostly seniors. It's like an older neighborhood, and our property taxes went up 100%. And a lot of these folks are retired city workers, retired state workers. They can't afford that. So what happens when they don't start paying their taxes? They're going to get those liens, and somebody could just take their house for taxes. So it's not about me, as corny as that might sound, but I'm actually doing this for other people. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like how our people are being treated right now in Raleigh, and nobody seems to care. So I go to city council and I tell them, I say, y'all comfortable because black people, we're not the majority in Raleigh, but we will make up who sits in all of these seats, whether y'all know it or not. And see, this being, they actually gave themselves an extra year to stay in office. But I told somebody they don't realize they messed up because this is a presidential year. Black people might not come out in off years, but they're going to come out and vote in the presidential year. And then you got Agent Orange trying to get back in the White House. They definitely coming out to vote. So, I told them I'm done. I come here to talk to y'all, and I don't think y'all really care about anything I have to say. So I can show y'all better than I can tell you.
Right. And sometimes I know how that go. When you're tired of talking and you're tired of asking, and it's like, all right, okay. So that's what it is. All right, I got you. And then you just go from there because at once people show you who they are, you gotta just accept them for that.
Yeah, you believe them. That's what the poet said. She said, when they show you who they are, believe them. And that's what it boils down to.
Right. So, all right. So, and I know you said from New York, and you've been all over the place. Radio and different things like that. Radio was interesting, like because of the fact that you travel to so many different markets, and you were able to see, like how things were going in those markets, and what it happened to those markets first. Right. And now you're seeing it coming over here. That's great insight, I think, as far as like what development is, right?
Right.
Right. So now we could get into a couple of other things. Like, I don't know, like I always want to make sure that when we talk to people, we allow them to, if there's things that you don't want to talk about, it's cool. If there's
that's not what I am, bro. Ask me anything you want to ask me, and I'm gonna give you an honest answer. I'm not a politician. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm not going to tell you something that's going to make, and that's what you're going to get from these other folk. Oh, we need affordable housing, right? But how are you going to get there? Right now, they're talking about affordable housing. They consider affordable housing based off of area median income. Check this out. Area median income in Raleigh right now is over $100,000. So they consider 30% of that affordable. You're talking about $30,000. Therefore, you should be able to pay $2,500 a month. That's unrealistic, bro. Like, so the people right now that's living in Heritage Park, that's supposedly low income housing. So I'm saying, stop talking about area median income. How about the neighborhood median income? If y'all say y'all gonna move these people out, go to Heritage Park. Let's get the neighborhood median income for those people in that neighborhood. Let's see how much money they making and make sure they have a place to live. Because right now we getting the okie doke. This 30% of area median income That's trash, bro. That's trash. And that's one of the things. Even right now, I heard one of the other candidates say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna use some city land. We're gonna do this public-private." It never works out for the public. Y'all end up giving up public land, public dollars, but it's the private people who ends up reaping the reward. We never really capitalize off of stuff like that. So it's just, I'm just to the point. Like I said, I'm just tired of the okey doke. I'm focusing on neighborhood median income. I'm not giving any city land to any developer. If we can take care of the affordability problem on our own, what we need somebody else for. Just to say we need a public-private partnership is being lazy.
I like that. I like that. We got to expound on that because that's coming. That's coming down in the row. All right, bet. So that's going to lead into some other questions that I have. Right. All right. So we got a question in the chat. I'm gonna pull that up real quick so you can see it. The question is, what process and protocols are being implemented to help ensure that those being recruited into the police force are mentally sound and mentally capable to be a police officer?
I'm not in the force. I couldn't answer that question. But see, what I want to tell you is the difference in police forces. And it doesn't always work out. Like in New York City, right? When you go in the police academy, in order for you to get to work, you have to ride public transportation. They don't care where you're from. You got to ride that public transportation. And then they actually send you on routes to ride the public transportation. So you're not just going to come from a neighborhood like Staten Island that's mostly white and just think you're going to patrol in East New York. You know what I'm saying? Which is a black neighborhood. They want you to be amongst these people. And see, my mindset is y'all need to put some heart monitors on these people to see how scared they are when they come into contact with black people. You know what I'm saying? So let's see how much their heartbeat speed up when they come around certain people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, don't just let them ride the train, because guess what? They riding a train in their academy uniform. They might not have a weapon, but somebody say they still going to the police academy. So, but let them ride the train in their regular clothes. Put some type of monitor on them. Let's test their heart rate. Let's test everything. So when it comes to Raleigh PD, I don't know the type of testing, but you best believe. Just like I'm thinking about testing for the NYPD, I'm gonna figure out what kind of testing that we need there too. So, like I started with, I think two things could be true. I think that Raleigh PD, they are underpaid, because if you're gonna put that gun and badge on, you risking your life. I think they are underpaid, but that don't mean we need a bunch more of them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But this is how the city right now is wasting money. I'm gonna just let me veer left a little bit. So never mind the protection of everybody else. Now they're concerned of what's going on downtown. They want downtown, regardless of Fayetteville Street, regardless of how empty it is. They mind you, they do. You can now take your drink from a bar in certain parts of downtown and walk around downtown, and then they wonder why crime is up. So instead of trying to patrol that situation, the city got a private police force. They only got 2 officers, a private police force, and they're paying them $3.2 million. Now, my mindset is, I'm like, for that $3.2 million, let's say you could have took $1 million, trained you maybe 10 more officers. That's salary and training. You could have took $1 million to bring in some people to work with non-lethal force, and you could have took $1 million to try to remove some of these homeless folks from downtown. You got to really take a holistic approach on that. Ain't no way you take taxpayers' money and say we're gonna put $3.2 million into a private police force with 2 officers to patrol downtown. That's useless. Now I realize the young lady's question was about what's the protocol now. I don't know the protocol now, but I could try to find out and definitely give her an answer to that question.
Okay, bet. All right. So all right, so let's get into it. So I have my first question here is, I had to write them down because this time I ain't want to just go cuff. You know what I mean? So,
but see, let me tell you. See, this is where my radio background come in. You can write 10 questions down, but once we start the conversation, it might go on. So you might get to 2 or 3. So
and that's all that matters. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm gonna start off with the ones that we need the most answers for, right?
Yeah, let's go.
So check this out. So this one that I have is based on growth and development, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, as far as Raleigh's growth is concerned, how do you plan to manage Raleigh's rapid growth and the development while ensuring that the infrastructure is kept up to par? Because some of the bridges and it's a lot of potholes in certain streets, like it's terrible. But the traffic is growing every year. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, what do you have in plan for that? Do you have any plans for that?
Well, again, I'm in opposition of a lot of these rezones. Like prime example, New Bern Avenue is the busiest bus line. Mostly black people travel that bus line. So now that there's federal dollars, people voted for a enhanced bus system. They didn't vote for this bus rapid transit that the city is throwing on us now. So now they saying, oh, it's going to take $1 billion to do bus rapid transit. We need to make sure that we can cover this cost. And the way that we cover this cost is we need to build up. So now what you're saying, we're going to build up on New Bern Avenue. So now we got to move these people out. But guess what? They're the ones that was riding the bus in the first place. So the way I see it is that Raleigh is the capital city, but to me, Raleigh is still a southern city. Let's not try to be Atlanta. Let's not try to be Charlotte. Let's be Raleigh. You understand what I'm saying? I'm with it. We can have some growth, but like I said, I think when before we started, you got to be careful what you wish for. Atlanta probably has the same population as Raleigh right now, but the traffic in Atlanta is atrocious. And I think they have 6 lanes. They are like 6 lanes, and you still take you an hour to go 5 miles.
Sure.
So I'm for smart development. You know what I'm saying? Let's not try to build for people that we want to come. How about we build for the people that's already here? You know what I'm saying? Right now, there are folks who are saying, "Oh, we need all types of housing," but they're really not looking at it with a smart lens, because you have a down on Barwell Road. They already built 100 townhouses. So now another developer came in, bought some land. Another guy want to build another 100 townhouses. So now people are facing eminent domain because now that the developers are there, now they want to widen the road. So now we need to take some of your property. But they saying, well, we need more housing. But if you look at it this way, say they put those 100 townhouses there, they go into Wall Street companies, American Home for Rent, First Key Homes. These are Wall Street. It's like 4 or 5 more. They're going to buy up at least 50 to 60 of those houses, and they're just going to raise the rent to over $2,000. So when we say, oh, we still have enough, we need more housing, you just shot yourself in the foot because you let an out-of-towner come from wherever to buy up these houses, and this is just Wall Street. We're not creating the housing that we need. So those things have to be right now. When these rezoning cases happen at city council, they don't go out to the site. They don't really go out. Every now and then somebody might say, when it's contested a lot, then they might go out there. I'm thinking every city council rezoning case, the city council, the mayor, everybody need to be on site. We need to see, is this realistic? Because anything going down Rock Quarry, down Barwell, it's only 2 lanes. Even widen the road right now, it's like 5 o'clock. Traffic is out of control. So my mindset is, I always think that, and I tell this story to people all the time. I say, when I came to Shaw University in 1990, that's the first time I saw the sky. Because in Brooklyn, we don't look up. You know, I flew down, cab dropped me off there, and I literally looked to my right and there was nothing there. Just the sky. I was like, wow. But now you any corner, everywhere you go, North Hills, you running into a building. So I think, and a lot of these buildings are empty. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
A lot of them empty because and God forbid the market collapse. We just gonna have ghost towns. You know what I'm saying? So my goal is smart development. I want to be on site every rezoning case. I want to go out there and take a look and see if it makes sense. And if we can't even make it make sense, then I'm voting no. It's not happening. Raleigh has been one of the best places to live because of the people in Raleigh right now. You know what I'm saying? Not for the people that are trying to bring here. So that's where I'm at.
Hey, dope. Yo, all right. Well, look, it makes sense to me. I just wanted to, because the traffic is really,
Yeah.
it's getting out of control a little bit, and
And
certain
see
areas.
the beauty of Raleigh, and again, I'm kind of dating myself because when I was at Shaw, it was no MLK, it was no Martin Luther King Boulevard. That was like dirt road back there in 1990. You know what I'm saying? So Raleigh went from 440 to 540. You know what I'm saying? They was able to build, but now it's like that convenience that we had on every highway. Now you want to put a new tall building, it's gonna go away. Even with them saying, "Oh well, if we build up on New Bern Avenue, we got the BRT." You think somebody gonna be paying 3,000, 3,500 a month for rent, and they gonna just want to hop on the bus? So y'all think these people moving in these buildings not gonna have cars? Like, let's be realistic.
Right.
Y'all got fool's gold going on here. Well, we got the bus. We're gonna build up, so these people going, they ain't ride no bus. Like, you know, it's unrealistic, bro.
Nah, not in the sense of that. Not if you can afford 3,500 a month for rent. Why would you be riding a bus? You know, public
Nah,
transportation going into downtown and stuff. I can see, if that's what it is, but that's based on traffic. Because when you
right,
say stuff like New York and Manhattan, people ride the subway not because they don't have a car.
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
And
because they
you
don't.
don't need a car. Like even when the radio station where I was at in Chicago, you didn't even have to come out the building. You could go down. You could go right underneath and get on the subway. But that's not happening in Raleigh. That ship has sailed. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And like I keep trying to like I said a minute ago, Raleigh is the capital city, but it's still a southern city, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
right. Well, I mean, it's change is inevitable. It's going to come, and sometimes we need people with vision. Meek, you got a question for him?
Nah, I'm just honestly appreciating that innovative ideas, just a different approach, looking at things realistically and really being able to come up with solutions that make more sense, both economically and just for the people of Raleigh. Because what you're saying that they're trying to do, like you said, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense logically at all, and they are building for people who are not here. Like, we don't know these
Right,
people. Like, let us live, let us enjoy it,
right.
before you bring in other people. Like, build it for
Yeah,
us. So
that's
I
what I said.
do I
I'm like, I'm
appreciate
not. Listen, 30 years. I feel like I'm official. I feel like I'm official. I got an official Raleigh card after 30 years. I feel like I'm good.
I mean, yeah,
you got it.
at this point, yeah, because I mean, you outlived some people that was born here, at some point, as far as being here,
Yeah,
right? And then speaking of economics, because we do understand too, it's important when it comes down to the seat that you are running for about bringing businesses here, or at least lobby, for businesses to come here. So my next question would be is based on economic development. All right. So how will you attract new businesses and support the existing ones to boost the economy around?
well, prime example, the city once again owns several buildings downtown that are empty. And one meeting where I was at, they was like, well, there's a lot of black owned businesses. Let's put kiosks outside. I'm like, why they have to be outside? If the buildings are empty, why not put them inside the building?
Right.
There's a building right now. I think it's one exchange or one something. It's empty. It used to be a restaurant in there. And I'm like, okay, you could get several small, let some folks share a kitchen, and you can have another type of food hall. Why when it comes to black businesses, we got to be on the streets. I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all have all these empty buildings, and y'all mindset is let's build kiosks so they could be outside for foot traffic. No, how about you let them in some of these empty spaces, and they could build foot traffic that way. Some of the stuff I hear them talk about, yeah, at City Hall, they was like, well, how do we bring people? They was talking about putting lights over Fairville Street. I'm like, you gonna spend $1 million to put lights over Fairville Street? What's listen, bro. I could go on and on, but it's like it's unrealistic. Some of the stuff that I've been hearing from the city council.
Which is, it's kind of upsetting though, because, they, from what you're saying, they have the money. If they could put money into lights that is not needed, they could put money into the teachers, or they could put money into the police force, right? A lot of times, in the fire departments, like these people, because the people who work for the fire department, they normally first all the time to whatever scene is popping off, right? And then everybody else follow up, depending on what the call is, right? When we get outside of like a violent crime, well, not even that, they get called for that too. So, like I said, it's probably just a particular one where they don't. But what I'm saying is that a lot of the things that you're saying now, which is, I know a lot of people speculate, they think about, like, yo, Raleigh gotta have money, right? Because of the parking scenario and, this and that. And they own so many different, they own land. Like, so even like downtown, they own houses, they own land that is just empty, like just sitting there.
And then they'll raise it. They'll be like, oh, do y'all want to improve the parks? Prime example, some years ago, there was a parks bond. Y'all want to improve the parks? People at Raleigh said, yeah, let's do the parks bond. Raised $275 million in the parks bond. But yet, 1/3 of that is going between Chavis, which is now gentrified. Chavis used to be the Chavis is now gentrified. 90 million of that is going between Chavis and Dix Park. So although the whole city put in this pool of money, y'all want y'all fantasy island, because y'all now want this grand downtown that y'all dreaming up in y'all head. Y'all want to spend 1/3 of the money between Dix Park and Chavis. Like, what about the rest of the city? Let's be equitable. You know what I'm saying? And and another thing that you just touched on in regards to the schools, like when I asked about certain things, like I was a teacher. My daughter right now works in the Wake County school system. And their kids, like some kids are required to pay. I think it just went up to like $3 or maybe $3.50. They required to pay for lunch. So if you don't have lunch, if you don't have the money for lunch, they're supposed to get a vegetable, a fruit, and an empty cup to get water from the fountain. And I'm saying that's absurd. That's absolutely absurd. And then a news story came on the other day. Oh yeah, more kids going to eat, and it's like, so now some kids could get breakfast, but they can't get lunch. Or they could get lunch and they can't get breakfast. And then some schools didn't qualify for this new program. So I'm talking to folks about this and they like, well, that's a county issue. Well, that's a state issue. And I'm like, yeah, but it's happening in the city of Raleigh. You know what I'm saying? Raleigh, the city has a paid lobbyist. There's no other city in North Carolina where all 100 counties are other than Raleigh, where the state legislature is. But we have a paid lobbyist. So who should be the biggest lobbyist other than the mayor? You know what I'm saying? So people are like, well, you talking about something that we don't control. That's Wake County. That's not. I'm like, no, we control this. If by law, think about it. If by law, if a kid is of school age, they must be in school or the parent get penalized. So why not by law, if a kid is in school, they could get 2 full meals? Don't that make sense?
Make a lot of sense.
It's not rocket science to me. Like, y'all gonna let a kid, and then we talk about bullying, we talk about this. Just imagine a kid in the 3rd grade coming out the cafe and all he got is a vegetable and a cup of water, an empty cup to get water, not even a cup of water. This is what we're doing in Raleigh in 2024.
That's crazy.
And then folks are saying, well, that's a that's a county issue. No. And I told somebody else, it's like, that's not pity, that's not sympathy, it's empathy. How about you don't want this kid to get bullied, right? He by law, he must be in school. His parents must have him in school. But if they don't have that money to pay for that food because they make $50,000, but mind you now, area median income and affordable housing is $2,500 a month. So they don't have that money for lunch. You want to get this kid a vegetable, a fruit, and an empty cup. This is what's happening in Raleigh. But folks I'm talking to people, they're like, oh, that's a county issue. You shouldn't talk about. Yeah, we're gonna be realistic. Everything about this campaign is gonna be realistic, and we're gonna talk about it. Somebody's gonna do something about it.
Nah, that's fly. Because even in schools, like I would think that whenever they come down to it, there's so much land, there's so much different things that they could be doing. They could be teaching them how to grow food. They could be doing a lot of things that add value to the children. So then they are on the same level playing field, and they shouldn't be sitting. And then it's a lot of processed food anyway. I don't understand why you holding back from certain kids, and you wonder why they acting up if they hungry. And let's be real.
Check this out though. Let me
They be hungry at home too.
Let me give you the full visual. If this every kid is assigned a lunch. If the kid don't have the money for the lunch, they get the fruit, the vegetable, and the empty cup, and you're supposed to throw that lunch away. Are we really doing this to kids in 2024 in Raleigh?
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Because that was going to be one of my other questions was about education, because we wanted to know, because we've dealt with a lot of things on, we talked to some people where bullying is affecting the teachers' ability to teach and the students who are trying to learn. It's affecting everything, and bullying is one of the main factors that these children are facing when they are going to school, because they don't have what other people may have, right? And in the sense of what you said, not having the lunch, because kids see you with the fruit and the vegetable, they know you ain't got no money.
Right.
I write that. So now, outside of that, we don't know what your appearance is too. Because a lot of times, I know growing up when you could always tell who didn't have money because their appearance looked like they didn't have
right.
I bet. So then now it goes into they be an easy target for somebody to bully because of the self-esteem. So then now these people are bullying them. Now they can't even educate themselves out of their situation that they're in and not be like the environment that they're in. They don't have the motivation, right? Because of these things going on. And I do understand that somewhere along the line, we got to hold the schools accountable for not being in position for bullying. So that would be my question for you, like, because I mean, look, we don't know if that's something that you, like you said, it might be accountable.
No, listen, I'm what you got. You have to meet kids where they are, and there need to be like peer mediation. I taught like when I graduated, I taught special education in New York City. I taught special education, and it was one of those situations where it was like always when a kid is acting up, let's send him to Mr. MYRICK class. Let's send him to the big black man class. You know what I'm saying? Let him deal with it. But I always used to deal with it in a different kind of way because I like to laugh. I like to joke. I like to listen to music. And it didn't always jive right with a lot of these programs. We had one reading program. It was called Success for All, right? But the teachers, we used to call it, can I cuss on here?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So the teachers, we used to call it still fucking around. That was our SFA because every new program was a money grab. Oh, this new great program. Let's put $100 million into this. So it was called SFA. And the way the program used to work is that, let's say your reading was from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. So you already had a ready-made teachers plan. And when the monitors would come around, they would just look at their watch at 10:45. They wanted you to be at a certain place. So when they came in my class, I'm dealing with special, and they supposed to have sit in like a group of 4. So I'm dealing with kids with learning disabled, learning mental, So, but you expect me to be at a certain place at 10:45. I'm just to the point where I'm happy to be able to get these kids to sit down and work. So sometimes I might have to move one kid away from the next kid. And they like, well, that's not how the program is supposed to work. But this is how this kid learns. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He needs to be over to the side by himself. So when they come to me, Mr. MYRICK, this was supposed to be this. And I was like, okay, so if these kids are getting into a fight right now, what am I supposed to do? They don't take that into consideration. But no, we got to have more like peer mediation. Things like that. That's like with the issue that just happened in Southeast Raleigh, man. That was tragic. But apparently it was like, I don't know the full story, but from what I heard, it was a kid who was getting picked on. So he decided he'd come into school with a weapon so he could stop getting picked on. But there should have been something in place where some safe place at that school where that kid felt like, it should have been a drop box or something where make everybody drop something in the drop box. Even if you don't have nothing to say, you put something in that drop box. So now everybody, I don't care, you want to write a cuss word, you put something in that drop box. And when we go through that drop box, then maybe somebody will say, so and so is bothering me and I'm afraid. You know what I'm saying? You got to come up with ways to meet these kids where they at. And when I was teaching, there was kids used to come in and they used to be like, "What's up, Mr. Myrick?" And then it was one teacher was like, "That's Mr. Myrick." You say, "How you doing?" I was like, "No, he good." You know what I'm saying? Like we fine. He's happy. He's speaking to me. That's a win. You know what I'm saying? Let's we got to meet these kids where they are.
Okay. Well, Bet, I'm glad you said that because the story that you were just mentioning about what happened in Southeast Raleigh, I had them on here. I had the parents on here and the whole nine. Of course, I didn't have the young man on here because of course he's locked up. But I had his parents on here, and they were, pleading because these students, not only were they jumping their children, they jumped them too. They came to their house. You know what I'm saying? Right. So they not just dragging it from school, they dragging it outside of school. And it was the parents that were helping their children come jump on other children and grown adults. So what we saying is that we gotta be able to put and I'm only saying we because when you kind of think about it, it takes more than just one person to get
it's the village, bro. It's the village.
Right? So we gotta hold everybody accountable. We gotta find a way to hold parents accountable to a certain extent because a lot of times their kids do act differently outside of them.
Right.
Because they're peer pressured by the people that they're around. But we gotta be able to hold the school itself accountable too when it comes down to these things. Because like you just said, you cannot have students that you're not gonna feed when there's a meal there for them because they don't have no money. But then you're not gonna put something in place to stop this kid from getting bullied because he's hungry and he looked like he's hungry. Well, that's probably shouldn't have said that.
And then let's think about that. So now the kid is hungry, you're getting picked on, and you still want them to learn. Come on.
It's crazy. That's crazy. And then, like you said, like you can't group them together like they do special ed. You can't go ground up all the kids. All right, so all the kids ain't got no money. Y'all come over here. We're going to put y'all in the class together so y'all can be hungry together. You can't do that either.
Right.
Because that's foul. So I don't understand as adults. And these are things that are run by adults that are looking at children and telling them, oh, you ain't got no money today? I bet. Here, take this, take this cup and bust a move. Hey, yo, you know that plate? Throw that away.
Right. That's just. Listen, man. It's just.
And it's wasting money. It's wasting taxpayer money too.
Listen, my mindset has always been everybody matters. You know what I'm saying? That's my mindset. Everybody matters. I watched something the other day. It was I don't remember what show it was, but it was actually a black cop. He was like, I would have been further on in my career if I wasn't busy helping everybody. But sometimes that's your calling. You know what I'm saying? Right. But sometimes that's your calling. You there to help. I was talking, and I live in Biltmore Hills. Some of my friends, they was like, why would you move to the hood? I'm like, the hood? Like, what's wrong with y'all? Not where every place where black people are is considered. It should be considered the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your mindset? And during the same conversation, they was like, I don't remember what they was asking me to do, but I was like, Monday. I was like, no, Monday I'm gonna be at the White House. And they was like, what? You gonna be? I was like, Monday. Yeah, they got the Juneteenth celebration. I'm gonna be at the White House. So he like, oh, you so. But go look at my Instagram. I'm up there on the lawn. I'm with Kareem, Jean Pierre. I'm with them. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to. There's a poem by Rudyard Kipling called "If." It's basically say if you could walk with kings and not lose the common touch. I don't really want to walk with the kings. I would rather be with the people. You know what I'm saying? Right. That king that's unrealistic. It's realistic out here where the people are. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like you got to meet people where they at. Kids, adults, and everybody matters. That's the way I see it. Everybody matters.
Facts. All right, so we got a couple more questions in the chat. I'm gonna get to those in a minute too. And we
I
definitely
apologize
gotta.
for the noise. Like I said, I'm not in my normal spot, so
Oh no, we don't hear no noise. You good,
oh,
bro?
okay, okay.
Yeah. You good because like I said to the people that's watching, it's important like y'all check these answers out because for those of y'all that's watching that live in Raleigh, like these are the things that are important that you will have to want to vote on. This he's at least telling you where his mindset is and where he's planning on directing, his team when it comes down to these things that we all seem impossible. Now, we all know that, we can ask, but closed mouths don't get fed at all.
Exactly.
So asking is very important. I always heard this old saying that it was no such thing as a dumb question
Yeah.
until you ask the dumb question, and then you got to realize if the question dumb or is you dumb for about to answer the question. So it it's just the way you look at things, right?
Right.
Basically the bottom line. So all right. So with that being said, we got to find out some kind of way uh, to attract more businesses this way,
Mm-hmm.
or at least industry this way. Now, do you have a plan for that? Because that was also part of the question when we was asking. Now, is there a plan for that? Like, do you have like, is there a thing in mind where you're saying, all right, so all the people, the existing small business owners in Raleigh, North Carolina, I need to figure out instead of throwing lights, whatever budget they're coming up with, like let's see if we can find a budget to
Mm-hmm.
help you guys with either marketing,
Mm-hmm.
which is one of the most
Right.
expensive parts
Right.
of having a business because some of these people are mom and pop. When even if it just comes down to them being able to have a nice budget for ads that they could pay on social
Right.
media.
Right.
Versus making up paper and flyers and
Right.
posters and
Right.
littering all over the place. But these are things. So do you have anything? Because these are things that's
So
important.
the city currently right now has something I think it's called Upfit, but you have to have like a storefront or something like that
A
where they'll
brick and
give you,
mortar.
yeah, they'll give you funds to like I guess remodel the outside or maybe you need a heat and the air system. But no, I actually when there's a pool of money, I actually believe in something that you just said, and it's crazy because I'm gonna go back to I think whatever 2009 when that market crashed and the government came up with made up all this money.
2008.
So they made up all this money. So this time I don't know what city I was living in, probably Chicago at this time. Bloomberg, the billionaire. You gotta realize why would a billionaire want to be mayor? It's all about power. The man came in with he came in with like 6 billion and left with 16 billion, right? So when they gave him money to create jobs, he took $45 million and he said, "I'm going to give the Wall Street. I call them his Wall Street friends. He gave them seed money, he gave them office space, and he gave them training to start new businesses. Now, mind you, Wall Street, these are the people who caused the collapse. But
Exactly.
his first mindset is, oh, let me go back and help my tribe out because he comes from Wall Street. So he took 45 million of taxpayer dollars. Oh, we're going to help them. They drive the economy. We're going to get them to create new businesses. We could do the exact same thing. But here's the thing: the city already owns the space. The city, you already own the space. It's yours. You don't have no overhead on that. So if nothing else, you can give the people the office space. We can give them the grant with the seed money. We can give them the training to let these businesses keep going. But the way the current city is working right now is they like, oh, let's build kiosk. So you want to throw money on putting people outside when you own spaces that they can currently occupy. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's how you keep it. That's how you keep the dollar. That's how you keep the dollar circulating.
Well, you know what? That brings me to a question then. So I'm thinking, I don't know if this is a thing, but then is that come to us as as people? Is there a way that we can try to acquire the space at a really huge discount based on the fact that you know, money is going into these buildings because they still got to keep the lights on in the building, whether
Right.
they occupied or not. They
Right.
still got to have some type of cleaning or maintenance going on,
Right.
even if
And those are RFPs. Those are businesses that the city need right now. I think I just saw RFP for something that they finally doing something around the homeless issue. So whatever your skill sets are, look into the RFPs. And that's why I'm telling a lot of folks now in the city of Raleigh budget this year was 1.2 billion. Next year is going to be 1.4 billion. And that's why I'm telling folks, I'm like, first of all, when your budget go over $1 billion, it's no more small ball. You know what I'm saying? Once your budget hit $1 billion, it's no more small ball. So I encourage everybody, get an LLC and get in where you fit in. It was something I was watching. I don't remember what it was, but the governor, the outgoing governor, he said there's $38.8 billion worth of projects in the pipeline. And he wanted to ensure that no less than 10% of those projects went to minority and women-owned businesses. So no less than 10%. So you're talking about $3.8 billion. So when they started having all these workshops, I go to the workshop. I'm a small business owner. I go to the workshop. So it's me and one other black lady there. So the man just mentioned possible of $3.8 billion. So minority and women, a bunch of white women was there. They're going to cover the women part. The other minorities was Hispanic, there was Asian, there was Indian. It was literally me and one other black lady there. And I'm like, we missing the boat.
Yeah,
we missed the boat. All of that road work, all of that cleaning. There's it's a RFP, request for proposal.
Yeah, they don't know, and I think that's where the education part comes in at, right?
Right.
Like, because people don't know that these meetings are there. Like, they don't know about NCREA. You would think that people would look around and they would say, "Dad, this person owns these properties or these houses look abandoned. How do you get these?" They don't even know that there's a association here that you can figure out just for real estate investing.
Right.
Like, you know, and be able to go to those meetings so you could get that information. So what I think is just a lack of information. But break down what an RFP is.
And not to cut you off, my goal is to not just have the stuff on the city website. Like, I just got into a back and forth with somebody. Once again, I live in Biltmore Hills. So they come and they tell us, "Oh, we're having this focus group. We're going to change the park." So I think I'm going to a focus group. And the guy said, "Yeah, we're going to take away the baseball field and we're going to put tennis courts up there." I said, "I thought this was a focus group. You telling me what y'all going?" "Oh, yeah." So, you know, he was like, "Well, we should try to recruit kids for different programs." I said, "Well, where you recruited at?" He said, "On the city website." I said, "So you didn't go to the schools? You didn't go to the Y? You didn't go to the playgrounds? You put this information on the city website and you was expecting the kids to find it. And now you telling us to come to a focus group because y'all going to make changes to the park when you just here to tell me that you already going to put a tennis court there. And I'm just here for you to say, yeah, we had a meeting and this amount of people showed up." So what I'm saying is, when these city contracts come out, it's not just, if I'm in control, it's not just going to be on the website. You know what I'm saying? With any billboards that we might own, if we got to put some ads out, I'm gonna let the people know. Get you an LLC and get you some of these contracts. That's just what it boils down to. This information is hidden in plain sight, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's hidden in plain sight.
So break down RFP. So for people who don't know what that means.
So it's a request for a proposal. Like the city, they just put this out. Like, okay, so we got this mental health initiative to end homeless initiative. We want to spend $1 million on housing them, but we want to spend $1 million on counseling, a project manager, and you go on the city website. I think it's Raleigh. I'll get it. I'll get that information for you. But you go on the city's website. They put out these requests for proposals, but you have to be in position to show how you will be able to implement this. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be like, "Yeah, I think I could do it." You know what I'm saying? You got to have yourself structured, you know, have your business in place. And and then there's some folks who might be like, "Well, if I can't, how am I going to start if I don't get it?" You could come in as a subcontractor. You know what I'm saying? You might could say, "Well, where are they going to house these homeless people at? Do they need somebody to help clean up? Do they need somebody to feed them? You start as a subcontractor, and then you work your way up. But that's information that's on the city website. It's called request for proposal. So they tell you how much money that they have, and then you put in your proposal as to how you're going to implement it.
Gotcha.
And that's on the city website.
That was important because that's something that people, acronyms get people.
Oh, it's a bunch of them. It's a bunch of them. It's a bunch of them.
But nah, that's a good look because yeah, that's a good look because we want to make sure that people get the information, you know what I mean, and be completely clear. So with that
I want to
being
make sure
said,
they get the contract.
well, look, the contract is very important. You're right. They got to go get the contract, but we want to make sure that people get the information only because, listen, man, the LLC part and all that, that's more important before you jump out there because we already see what happened with the PPP thing. Everybody got hemmed up in that had an LLC too, and you see what happened. You know what I mean? So we want people to get the education because now they still rounding people up for that. Like people don't know how serious that is. Now they getting the people that got the bigger amount of money.
Yeah, they jumped out. Some of them folks jumped out the window on that PPP.
Listen, they was wilding on the PPP. Some of them people, they really got that bag. And, then there were people who got a smaller amount, but they went for them first. They got all of them, and then now they going for the other people. They're not stopping. So that's why I'm saying, like you said, there are contracts out there. You guys can go out there and apply for them, get your LLC. But listen, don't get the education because, like you said, running a proposal, you can change your life.
Right. You literally can. I mean, $2 million proposal. If you had the structure in place, that's up for grabs. You
can change your life.
That's up for grabs.
And some people they have land, or some people have like little things. They just got sitting around somewhere that they're not doing nothing with. People know people that know things, and they go into a job that they don't like every day.
Right.
So that's a good look, man. So that's some good information that you gave. So hopefully the people that, are getting to know you as you run your campaign will understand that that is one of the most important parts of the development of the city is being allowed to understand where you can get that income that you want to meet. Because what I'm learning is that, people want to live in the city of Raleigh because they love the convenience. But then people don't mind living on the outskirts either.
So Raleigh's expensive now.
People got to be willing to develop on that outskirt because they're coming, no matter what.
Right.
They're coming. So it's seeing the vision first off, right? Like, okay, so they building Raleigh up like this. They trying to move. All right, bet. So I know where they trying to go. Let me go out there first and let's get it. So that's another thing. But like you said, we're gonna have you come back when it ain't about politics.
Let me give you my common sense approach. Right now, these city council folk, they could have voted to add 3 more seats, right? So it's an estimate of I think it was something like 5,000 possible 5,000 unhoused people, homeless people in Raleigh. So I said, listen, right now let's break this up as if we have 10 city council districts. We're not going to do no gerrymandering. We're going to break this up equal. If Raleigh is approaching 500,000 people, that's 50,000 per district, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying it would be much easier to say if we got 10 city council members, each one of y'all responsible for finding housing for 500 people. Wouldn't that be much easier than saying we need to find housing for 5,000 people?
True.
Bro, and I had to tell somebody this is that special ed teaching. You know what I'm saying? You got to break it down in pieces. You got to meet the kids where you are. Sometimes you got to meet the adults where they are. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to plan ahead, that's the type of planning ahead I'm talking about. Because it doesn't make sense for us to only have 7 city council members and a mayor, and 2 of them are at large. So I'm saying right now, let's already plan as if we have 10 city council members. And if we got to house these folks, no, we're not going to do none of this NIMBY stuff, none of this not in my backyard, that acronym, not in my backyard, because we do have some of those folks in Raleigh. Don't bring the affordable housing. No, I live in Southeast Raleigh. I got to pass the South Light. That's the drug treatment center. I got to go this way. They got the jail right there. I got to go the other way. There's a jail right there. No, if this is going to be a city for everybody, y'all going to have to put some unhoused people on y'all side of town too. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it's really going to work. It will be much easier to break it down in small pieces than to say, oh, how we going to house 5,000 people? Let's just be realistic about it.
Okay, so how do we? All right, so with the empty buildings that they own, like, is there a way for us to petition to try to get, you know, access or use to those buildings in order to be able to do some of the things? Because what if a person has a vision to help house people with the right vision, but they need the facility, you know what I mean, in order to do it? Like, how could that work? Is there something? I mean, I don't know. I'm just
no. You can't. So this is what I do. I go down there, and you have to lobby the city council. Literally lobby them. There's I think it's this. Well, they switched the times, which I think is done on purpose. Everybody used to get 3 minutes twice a month to come speak at city council, and you could come, let your voice be heard. There's a guy right now. His business is called RALEIGH, ROLLY, I think it is RALEIGH. He has a space downtown, and they do a lot of amazing things down there. But he come down there and let them know, you know, I don't feel like y'all showing me enough support. I feel like I need more support. But he's letting his voice be heard. I think he may or may not have gotten a grant or something to that effect. But you have to let these city council members know. And at the end of the day, it's an election year. They could be voted out. So what happened the last time, I don't know if folks is aware, like literally it was only 8 city council, 4 got voted out. So there's a chance you could move the next 4 out. You know what I'm saying? Your voice is heard. Your voice can be heard. And this is what I've been telling them the whole time. I'm like, Black Voters Matter is not just a slogan. You know what I'm saying? This is a real thing. So I told them we're not the majority in Raleigh, but you best believe we're gonna make up the difference. If it's somebody getting 10,000 votes and somebody getting 8,000 votes, guess what? We can make up the difference in who sits in that seat right there. So we can go down there and let them know this is what I want. And I told them, I was like, listen, I'm just to the point now where I said, okay, I tried to work with this person. I tried to work with that person. Y'all not listening to me. I can show you better than I can tell you. So that's why I'm putting my name on the ballot. So then once I win, then you come tell me that you need this space and we got to figure it out.
I bet that's what we want, y'all. I bet, because you know, it's a lot of ideas, right? And you see the bill, because you know, a lot of people know the buildings are empty. You can see, like, you can tell, like, you know, and when you ride through downtown, and so, and then there's other places too in the city that we looking at, like, oh yeah, that's empty. And then you look on RootNet and you see whole buildings are for sale.
Yeah, bro, you smart. Let me just let you know you smart. You know a lot of stuff. I just want to let you know that you keep saying a lot of stuff, but you know a lot of stuff. You already know. You asking me these questions, but I know you know.
Well, it's really for the people though.
Yeah,
right. Because you know, you got to kind of think about it, man. You know, you as an individual, that people don't actually see what you're doing. Like, as far as me in the background, they don't see that I be working on all this stuff in the background. So for them, it could be like, yo, he just talking. But then I'm asking these questions because now for you, like Meek said, you know, the fact that you being very transparent about what your ideas are when it comes down to helping everybody, it makes more sense to ask a question in a platform like this now y'all versus me just talking.
Like, it's no good if you're the only person that has. You know what I'm saying? Like,
facts.
It's no good. Like, that you'll never survive anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You could be in your glass house, but when you come out, somebody's gonna be looking to take what you got. Like, why can't everybody have? You know what I'm saying? Why? And it's on different levels. You know, I had a conversation with somebody. It was like, well, I don't understand why these people still in Brooklyn. I was like, this is how some people want to live their life. I got a cousin. She drives a city bus. Her thing is, she comes home. She helps her son with his homework. She'll have her a beer or a glass of wine, and she gonna watch some TV, and she good. You know, she gonna take her vacations. They're gonna go on their trips. Everybody don't. It's different strokes for different folks, but it's where you comfortable at in life. But you deserve to be able to be comfortable how you want to be comfortable. And I just see those opportunities being taken away from people, and I don't agree with that.
Gotcha. Well, we got another question in the chat, and so I'm gonna pull that up real quick before we get into just you giving any final messages to the people because you want them to know exactly what you're standing on, right? And now the slogan right now, everybody's saying standing on business.
Standing
So
on business.
we want to see if you're gonna be like King Harris out here, you gonna stand on business.
No, so check it out. My acronym is LEAD: leadership, empathy, accountability, and diversity. That's
Okay?
where I'm at. Leadership, empathy, accountability, and
And
diversity.
diversity.
I know people trying to turn diversity into a bad word, but no, we need diversity. We need, just like we need Mika up here, we need other people. We got to hear everybody's voices. You know what I'm saying? You got to listen. I was at an event with the Palestinian folks, and they mad right now. They mad at Joe Biden. They calling him Genocide Joe. We gonna vote no, and I'm like, listen, y'all got to understand where I'm coming from. You know, I'm here with y'all for this ceasefire, but I'm voting for who y'all calling genocide, because who's the other option? You understand what I'm saying? Like, look at what else you have. You know, so we could agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying? We can agree to disagree, but we got to make it make sense. Like, some folks they just want to clash all the time, and it's not, that's not me. You know, I'm so frustrated with the city council and the mayor right now, but trust me, I like to be happy. I like to have a good time. That's what my mindset is, but I want everybody to be able to have a good time.
Yeah.
You say you had another question in the chat. No.
We because we're gonna get to that one, and because like you said, when it comes down to people's personal vote for presidents, right? We gotta go based on policy. Like, that's why it's like everything else that we're doing now is we got to look at things based on what are you running on. Like, we can't just blindly give ourselves to people, because as a group, that's what we've been doing all our lives, just blindly giving ourselves to a person that says they're going to do something and then they don't do it. And then in real life, we will not be around people like that. Like, come on, let's think about it. In real life, if somebody kept making promises to us, say like a personal relationship, your person, they kept promising you that they're going to give you this money for the bills or whatever it is, and you see they got the money and they never do. After a while, you're going to be like, yo, why are you or me? Why are we here?
That's why the local elections matter. You
Right.
understand? I have people telling me right now, oh, you can't do nothing with the school system. That's the county. Yeah, but if I'm the mayor of Raleigh, everybody meets in this city. The legislature right now Raleigh is the only city where you're going to have representatives from every 100 counties. Raleigh has a paid lobbyist. So who should have the loudest microphone? The mayor. The mayor should have the loudest microphone. The mayor should be the one that's telling the outside world, do y'all know the county is not letting these kids eat? You know what I'm saying? By law, they have to be in school. So don't y'all think by law they should be able to eat?
Right.
But folks are just happy that a few more schools, they're going to give a free breakfast, but they don't get a free lunch.
That was my point. That was my point. We could look at the big joint, right? But the local level is where we got to focus on just as much. Right. That's why, people arguing over whether they're going to vote for Biden or Trump. We don't really look. It's two of the same people. They just a different wing. Left wing, right wing. It's the same bird. It's one bird, two wings.
Same bird.
Right?
Same bird. But your local elected officials need to be the ones to get that done for you. You know what I'm saying? So whoever that is over there, your local elected official need to be the one. And right now I have people saying, "Oh, that's not our issue." Okay.
Well,
we're not the same.
It's gonna definitely be our issue. It's like they just don't, like you said, hiding in plain sight. It's just until it affects people, that's when they realize. All right. Let's get to this last question in the chat real quick, so I don't want to forget it. I'm gonna pull it up, but it says, this is from Yassi. Are they considering inflation with this area medium income for housing? If that is the case, they should strongly consider increasing wages to match with inflation, which is really true. Now,
that's 100% true.
We gotta figure out that, because you can't I can't say you, but I'm already speaking like you already meant.
Thank
So
you. Speaking into existence, brother. I appreciate it.
yeah, yeah, I'm saying. So, like I said, that they can't continue to allow companies to use their employees the way that they have to in order for things to go because they're downsizing. Like, think about it. Most of the employee companies they have people working from home. So now it comes to that thing about incentivizing. Remember, inside office, you got to do things to boost morale. So there's budgeting that comes into play. You got to have all these different things for the employees. Now they don't have to do that because a lot of employees are working from home or working what they call a um,
Hybrid. Yeah.
hybrid schedule. So that also leaves these companies to not have to pay as much in security for their buildings, cleaning
Right.
for their buildings. So they're all
Medical
saving.
insurance. The medical insurance is a big one they skirting.
Well, I think they're going, yeah, because then they're going to eventually turn those people into contractors. I know a lot of
Right.
people that work from home don't know that either.
Right.
That's why, they don't want to go back into the office. But once you become considered a contractor, you're going to make more money, right? But you're going to have to pay out more because of the other things that you're going to have to then pay,
Right.
So as far as what the question was, is there any plan that you have in play in order
No,
to?
I agree with the there must be a wage increase, especially when it comes to not even so. Once again, I'm going on a conversation I had with somebody else. I said so when it comes down to the mechanic, not even the mechanics, the folks that work in Jiffy Lube, the kids you got to leave your kid the people you got to leave your kid in daycare with, or the waitress. So do you not want them to be able to live in Raleigh? You know what I'm saying? Like you want them to have to travel from somewhere else to come here to take care of your kid or to serve you your food or to change the oil in your car. Like this is why I'm saying the area for me, the area media income is trash. The same thing, like they throw around the phrase affordable housing, but it's affordable to who? Everything is affordable if you can afford it. Like affordable to who? So once again, I'm saying those folks in Heritage Park, the city got to take a good look at what is their current income. How have they been there for all of these years, able to survive? And now y'all saying, "Whoa, we wanna," and they just really announced the other day they talking about moving the amphitheater over there. So this was a low income neighborhood, but now you want to put the amphitheater over there and blast them out. So, but again, that's that lack of empathy, not charity, not sympathy, empathy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's but the wages definitely when it comes to teachers and that area media income, I'm throwing that out the window. That just has to go out the window. It's and then they subsidizing the unaffordability. Oh, we got this piece of land. We're going to give this to this developer, and then we're going to subsidize if he puts X amount of affordable housing, 30% of the area median income. So not only is it outpriced, now you're giving them some more taxpayer dollars. I'm throwing all of that out the window. It's for me. The city own the land. We can build on the land. If you could raise $275 million for a parks bond, you could raise $275 million to create some actual affordable housing. That's the way I see it.
Facts. And I definitely got a plan for the home, like that would be really dope for the transitioning for those homeless, because we know that a lot of them out there are dealing with substance abuse, and we can get those in certain type of treatments, but then there are some that is not that are out there that used to serve this country. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them are veterans, and then there are a group of homeless people that are out there that are not out there because of alcohol and drugs, but they probably have resorted to them at this point, but they have lost their way. And we looking at things like a lot of these people, they can be retransitioned back into society. They just need that. You know what I mean?
They need it. Like, listen, when you got a city leadership that's more focused on listen, Dreamville, we get Dreamville, okay, but what about the other, not 365, 363 days of the year? What's going on over there? When I first one time when I came back here, I was working in the Wake County school system. I was one-on-one with a kid. The kid was housed at Dorothea Dix, and I used to go in there to work with him educationally. And I got that kid to the point to where I was able to take him outside on so-called field trips. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just to the point now where I'm like, what happens to kids like that? You know what I'm saying? Not see, we focus more on adults with mental illness, but there's actual kids that need places to go as well. So you still have those houses there at Dorothea Dix where they talking about planting sunflowers and all this other stuff. What about kids dealing with mental illness? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's and I keep hearing, oh, they want this to be the Central Park or this how. First of all, Central Park used to be called Seneca Village. It was enslaved people that lived there, and the Germans and the Irish, they got kicked out for the well-off. Dorothea Dix, what happened? It used to be enslaved people over there, mentally ill, and now they getting kicked out for the well-off. It's just history repeating itself. Bro, people not thinking, they giving y'all all this generic stuff. All I'm gonna say is when you reach out to me, I'm gonna try to give you a very comprehensive answer. And if I don't have the answer, I'm gonna definitely figure it out. But I'm not going to bullshit you. That's just something I'm not going to do.
Facts. All right. So listen, we gotta have you back on. We're gonna have you back on
anytime, man, because you've been dropping too many jewels. I told you said about 10 things. I was over here writing some stuff down. Like, nah, I'm gonna have to talk to them about that. We're gonna have to have a conversation about this.
Nah, we could definitely chop it up, man. We're gonna set it up another day, man. We wanted to make sure we gave you this platform this time to really get your message out there as much as possible, right?
Yeah, no, I appreciate
we know it's a lot more that we could touch on, but we wanted to get some things out tonight so you can start to use these things to help move around, to help your campaign. Because, like you said, I know some people said that they were doing door knocking, and I respect that. You know what I'm saying? From coming from doing door-to-door sales myself. It's nerve-wracking going to walk up on the stranger's door and knock on it, and and to stand there and try to get them to pay attention to you. But I do realize that in this particular space that you're in, as much as you can get the information and word out, it'll definitely help. So
I appreciate it. Listen, you got to do this. It's not this for me. It's not either or. It's and. So I have to do this and that. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's just where I'm at. But no, I appreciate the opportunity. Y'all hit me up anytime. Hit me up anytime.
Man, definitely. We're gonna.
And so I got some technical, but all my Instagram, all that stuff is up right now. Everything is MYRICK for Mayor. Everything is at MYRICK for Mayor. Even my website, that should be up within the next 7 days. But it's myrickformayor.com right now. And anybody can log on there and then put the information. So when the website is officially up, they can there'll be more of my platform on there. They can always send me a question. I don't have a problem. You know what I'm saying? I'll answer anything to the best of my ability. But don't just let these folks be out here telling you, oh yeah, we're gonna do affordable housing. How? You know what I'm saying? Don't just let them sugarcoat the catchphrases. Yeah, affordable housing. And then ask them, well, is it based on a 30% AMI or are you talking about neighborhood median income? They're gonna be like, what are you talking about? No, they're gonna say you must have been talking to Eugene. That's what they're gonna say. You must have been talking
but that's good points to bring up, because that is something that a lot of people, especially investors, I know a lot of people who invest in real estate, they should be asking that question. They should be going to the meeting asking that question. They should be a part of it. And then even the people that's dealing with the tax lien scenario, they should be having those investors coming in, getting those tax liens for the people and helping them, and then, allowing them to pay them back slowly versus, them having to take their property within a year or two, depending on which, what they live in.
We went through a whole process trying to help these seniors. So the city have plans. That's another thing they'll say, well, we have plans to help you with your taxes. You got to be damn near poor. You got to be making less than minimum wage in order to get tax relief. Exactly. So we literally had a program where we were helping folks appeal it. I was working with the Association of Black Lawyers, the Men of Southeast Raleigh. It was a bunch of folks that was coming together trying to just help some of these seniors stay in their homes. It's vultures. It's some vultures out there. Yeah. There's some vultures out there. And sadly, some of them look like us. Sadly,
Well, and that's the thing. That's what I was going to say, because I know a plan that people could do to help people stay, especially the people whose homes are already paid off. Because a lot of these elderly people, that's what their biggest expense is for their house, besides regular maintenance, is the tax every year. They didn't pay that house off. right? But you know, they still are being forced out of there based on the, you know, their property tax.
Right.
So there's a way, you know what I mean, that people who are investors can help these people stay in their properties with helping them with the property tax, as well as allowing them to be able to make a little bit of change at the same time. So
So here's where I'm at. I need you to touch bases on me because mayor or not, that's something I'm interested in. You
okay,
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
we can
that's
talk about
something
that.
I'm interested in. So we definitely need to touch bases on that.
Yeah. We could talk about that because we got the power of doing it in every state too. You know, I got the information software. We can check it all out. You know, all the other stuff. But here's the thing. I'm just saying that, you know, it's real visions out here. We just gotta get the people in place who're not afraid to be those people, to be that voice. And then, long as they're able to, you know, get the right people around them, then we can make some shit shake for real. But
That's
before we go, I want you to again. You told everybody how to find you. But just again, real quick, let everybody know where your Instagram, your Facebook, and if you're on X and all that other stuff. If you're on
Yeah,
fan
everything is MYRICK. You can either put the number 4 or the word 4, MYRICK, MYRICK 4 Mayor, on Instagram, on X, and the website is myrick4mayor.com. Right now, you can sign up for when the site does go live, and that should be within the next 7 days. But I'm gonna definitely have something up there where you can just ask me a question. But I'm gonna do that door knocking because I like to, you got to get out here and meet people. I'm in the highways and byways. Like I said, I'm on one side of town, and I told the dude, hey, I'm going to the White House. And he looking at me crazy. I said, okay, go check my Instagram tomorrow. Go see what you see over there tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But I like to be with the people. You know what I'm saying? So, and you got to get out there and get to know folks. You know what I'm saying? I'm good with that.
Nah, that's a fact. I mean, especially if you want them to vote for you. I mean,
Yeah.
meeting them
Yeah,
personally.
so I'm doing some canvassing and all that other stuff. Like the kids say, we outside. We outside this summer. We outside.
All right, all right, yo. So, Meek, you got anything you want the people to know real quick before we get up out of here?
As always, follow me on Facebook. Y'all know I always got something going, some more workshops going. Got some more collaborations with some other people. We were talking about schools and teachers. That reminded me, school teachers, you need planners. Let me know. I make them custom for you and your school year. So reach out, or just any planner, any journal. Let me know. I'm around.
Like that. And so, for those of y'all that was watching tonight, thank y'all all for jumping on. Thank y'all for the questions. I also wanted to make sure that y'all hit Eugene up. Y'all make sure that y'all have those questions ready, because the thing that's going to happen is you're going to want to know, because all the questions that you ask him, be willing to ask all these other candidates as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just, like I said, we know all kinfolk, and I mean, skinfolk ain't our kinfolk, but we got to remember that at some point, we got to be able to treat everybody with the same type of energy that we want to give. You got to ask these other candidates how. Don't just tell me what you're going to do. Tell me how. This brother was open enough tonight to tell us how he was going to do stuff, not just policies or programs. Because sometimes we talk to people and they ain't had nothing but a bunch of programs. Like, look, hold on, right? We get that you got programs, but we need transparency in everything. That's the word right now. That's the word right now. Transparency. Everybody is looking for transparency. When it comes down to the money that's being sent overseas, people want transparency. It's not. And it's a lot of different things, but. All y'all that's watching, thank y'all that jumped on tonight. Y'all know what to do. Just check on us for next week. We're going to have more people on, and we're going to keep this thing going. We're going to have Brother Eugene back on another show, and we're going to talk about some other things, because it is information I need to get out there to the people about.
Definitely.
And learning how they could get in and learn about these contracts, too, because there is a way for you guys to get a SAM.gov number. I want to make sure that people understand that too. You can get this ID and you can apply for government contracts as well, not just the local and state and city, but you can also apply for government contracts. And a lot
there he go, popping them jewels. There he go.
The regular federal contracts is what you guys can help, and that can also help with a lot of other things that can help break down for the city level too, because they need parking lots repaid, they need all kind of things going on, and you guys can get these contracts. So sam.gov is a place that you guys would go on. You can actually apply for a number that allows you to apply for government contracts. So I want all of you guys to understand, like, there is opportunity out here for you. You just got to be willing to change your mindset. All right.
There you go.
So until next week, y'all stay fly out there. Y'all don't hurt nobody. And remember, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. So until